Hey, I'm out here driving. Let me roll these windows. With marijuana stuff. So, I never smoked weed, and then I was about 23-ish, I think, and I was living at a house with 4 or 5 other guys, and we had a really what's called the Buffalo House. It was a really party house. A lot of people, very social house, people coming over all the time, and all of a sudden I started seeing things around people, around their heads, shadows, darknesses, fogs, thicknesses in their head, different things. I just kept seeing it with people coming over, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like asking the Lord, like, what is this? And I kept seeing it over and over, like, and then it just dawned on me one day, and I was like, all of these people smoke weed. And I was like, oh my gosh, the Lord's showing me something. And then I had a girlfriend, and we were breaking up, and I was like, dude, I was so mad about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna smoke weed. And I just remember feeling it like in me, like this isn't the right thing to do. But I was just stupid. I was being stubborn against that feeling. And the Lord was showing me there's things going on spiritually with people smoking weed that you don't know about. So I'm gonna give you just a little tiny bit of glimpse of what it is. And there's weird stuff going on with these people. And so he was showing me that. And then this guy came into my life, and he used to grow weed, and I went to his house, and I remember there was a time I was standing at his front door before I went to his house, and I turned around and looked out at like nature, and the Lord was just almost like, remember this moment. And he didn't say that, but that's just how I felt. I was like, this is important. I don't know why. And maybe I do know why now, but nevertheless, I remember that guy. I never bought weed from him. I never smoked with him. I just remember him growing it and where he was in his life and stuff. And so it was never, I smoked it a few times. It was never something I really liked. I didn't like it at all, actually. And then I went over to a friend's house, and we used like this machine thing that takes out and like makes it purer. And I saw her turn into a lizard, and it scared me. And I stopped. I never did it again. And then I got back to Florida, and then I was at a friend's house, and I smoked weed, and it was just like this awful thing that I was experiencing. And I left his house, and then I didn't do it again. And so the Lord was showing me how dangerous it is. It's not just some plant that grows from the ground. No, I mean, Sugar used to call it the devil's weed, and a lot of people do. And you know, I've gotten a few friends off of marijuana, and they always talk about how good they feel afterwards. They think that it's good for their anxiety, or they think it's good for, you know, whatever. But after they stop, they're like, whoa, I feel so much better. I can think clearer. What marijuana does to you is it removes your ability to, someone once told me, phrase it as your incentive. It removes your incentive. So if you look at people that smoke weed, they really don't care about much. They kind of get real lazy, real stagnant, real kind of just, they don't feel like they have an incentive to do anything anymore. They just feel like, well, whatever, you know, let's just smoke weed and let's go have a good time and yada yada. And it's a lot worse than that spiritually. And so this is my perspective. Not everybody will agree with me, and we all have our own perspectives. But from what the Lord showed me before I did it, and then after I did it, and during I did it, and after I've stopped, it's all in alignment with, I think, the truth of Him and holiness, and Him and the Word, and Him supposed to being the provider and the joy and the healer, and I felt a sting in my forehead when I said it. Different things. And so that's just my take on it, man. And sorry going through that with Jaden and Taylor. But the Lord redeems, and the Lord is authority, and the Lord can drive that stuff out. And that's my selfish goal, is for that stuff to get driven out of there. That's my selfish goal. But I can't tell you how to think about it. I can't tell you what to do about it. I can't tell you, you know, or the family, or, you know, our cousins, or your you know, your nieces or nephews or anybody. I can't tell them what to do about it if they don't ask me. So sorry you're in this situation, and I hate it, and I know it can get better. But anyway, you know, I had a thought. My thought was, I wonder if there's something we need to go through here to help us with this brand. And right when I thought that, you sent me the text that Rock Comic's starting to piss you off. And I agree. Like, they better keep their word here. It's not fair if they don't. But we have been really patient with them, and we've been really trying to follow what they're guiding us to do and telling us what to do. And this next part, whether they put those 5 on there or not, we can do it. We can do it. But it would be helpful if they would do it, just because they said they would, and also because just to get it started and on its way. And it doesn't seem like they're going to. It seems like they're just gonna try to tell us what to do so we can go do it. But anyway, we'll see, and we'll talk to them probably soon, because I sent them that email.